This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. And by Anderson Hospital, a Newsweek World's Best Hospital. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Always great to be alongside the Cardinals manager Oli Marmol, Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, producer Matt Pajeski. I'm Tom Ackerman. Here we go. 9-game homestand begins tonight. The Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. And we welcome in the skipper. Oli, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. It's a big week and a couple of weeks coming up. They're all big, but this feels big, doesn't it? The Cardinals are coming back home. You're taking on the Royals starting tonight. Just your feelings coming out of that 3-3 road trip and getting back into your office.
No, good to be back home, man. It was a interesting road trip, a lot of positives, some things to continue to work on, but for the most part, I do like the way the guys are going about it. But it's nice to be home, especially you start to look at some of the game times, you get in a little bit more of a rhythm. We've been a lot of day games, doubleheaders, and so it's nice to be in your home office, your home clubhouse, and get in a little bit of a rhythm.
Oli, good to have you on with us as always. It's going to be a really important stretch. I don't have to tell you, 32 games in the next 34 days, a lot of good teams on the schedule. You'll get to see the Cubs twice. The question I know our fans want to know, given the busy nature of the schedule, does this automatically mean you're going to go to a 6-man rotation? But I think the question that's really on everyone's mind is, does Matt stay in the bullpen and maybe you use a Michael McGreevy in that 6th spot, or do you elevate Matt's to the rotation and then just kind of have a lot of moving parts as that extra guy in the bullpen?
Yeah, we started that conversation. We have a pretty good idea of which direction we want to go. We're finalizing that today. Actually, as soon as I jump off of this, we have a meeting about it. So I'll wait to disclose what that looks like. But those are your two options basically. You can do Matt's, and just know that your lead time is about 3 days leading into when he has to start, where you can't use him, and then you have to have him down for 3 to 4 days after. Or you can bring in McGreevy and keep Matz in the bullpen and continue to use him the way you've used him, which has been very effective. I like what we've seen out of him. Just having someone that's not overly splitty, meaning you don't mind him against righties, lefties, and that can run through a lineup one time and give you multiples out of the pen is extremely beneficial. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page as to what my thoughts are on that, but we'll finalize that here in the next hour or so.
Just a quick follow-up. Listen, all teams go through stretches like this, so this is not a unique challenge. But how do you feel about your team's depth? Again, 32 games in 34 days, your team's overall pitching depth, but maybe even your bench depth. Do you think you're built to handle a heavy load like this?
We're looking forward to embracing this next stretch. You have to. It's one I've been looking forward to because it will challenge our depth. But I think that's a good thing, man. You get to find out about certain guys. Gorman's going to get more of an opportunity when you have to give everybody days off and kind of make sure guys stay fresh. So it'll be a really good opportunity for certain guys to either take this chance and run with it. And no different with our pen, man. We're going to have to mix and match and do what we've done all year. But this is going to be a nice stretch. Like, this is an important one. Our players are up for it. Our staff is up for it. And you said it. Everyone has to play 29 and 30 day, whatever it is that we have. But this is going to be a fun one to be a part of. That's for sure.
And it's not just a long stretch of baseball. These are good teams that'll be at Busch Stadium, and then you got to go to Milwaukee and play there as well. I know we've talked about this before, Oli, whether or not these sorts of games against either division opponents or teams that you know to be good, if they, I don't want to say matter more, but if they mean something a little different, you do feel like they do, yeah?
Yeah, but I feel like we've been saying that every series is like this is the important one, right? You guys have to face New York or Philly or Detroit and Arizona coming into town, like whatever, like it's always a challenge, and it's going to continue to be that way. That's what a season's all about. But anytime you get to start to grind out certain games against your division, those are important. I find those important. Our staff and our players do. So this will be a fun stretch for a lot of reasons. From a depth standpoint, from seeing guys kind of mix and match, from no off days to playing your division to going to Milwaukee, all of it. So for those reasons, you embrace it and you look forward to it.
Oli, I'm fascinated with your offense. Your offense had a down series against the Rangers, but by and large, this has been a good offensive season for you. I look at it, you're the only team in baseball that is top 10 in runs scored, but in the bottom 5 in home runs. And that would lead people to believe maybe that you're aggressive on the base paths, you're stealing bags. That's not the case either. Not a big stealing team. So how are you doing it? Making contact, moving runners? Is that how this has been accomplished?
Yeah, and Bernie, we've talked about this a little bit. Like our guys are doing a nice job of taking professional at bats, right? Like they are, and we've said this in spring training, and this is Brownie saying there's a time to slug and a time to hit. Our guys have done a really nice job of understanding those two things. There's days where you're going to take your shots and play for a little bit more slug, and there's days, man, where you just got to stay short, keep it simple, and get it to the guy behind you. And our guys have done a nice job of taking their hits. Even if you look at the DeGrom game, man, I love some of the approaches that we took against them, and Mason going the other way, and guys just staying short through the middle of the field. That's a good pitching staff. They're at the top of the league for a reason, and they were able to quiet us offensively. But man, at the end of the day, here's what I'm most excited about. Our offense has done a nice job, and it's the area where we have the most room for improvement. Um, this is just the beginning of what this group can do, and we're going to continue to challenge them because there's areas that there's some real improvements in, and I don't want to take away from what we've done. But man, we're going to be head down making sure that we actually get these guys to the level that they're capable of. Right now, this is just the beginning of what they're capable of. From a chase standpoint, from controlling strike zone, from flipping counts to there's some things that we can improve upon. And the better we get at that 1 through 9 and our bench as well, the tougher it's going to be for an opposition to come through here and feel good about taking a series from us. So we just had a meeting as a staff as far as what those areas are. There's real opportunity in front of us from a growth standpoint that we have to take advantage of. So yes, we've done a nice job. We have to continue to do better.
That's really interesting. I got to say, I was looking up something today, Ollie. 33% of your runs have been produced by homers, which actually reflects very well on your club because you're finding a lot of other ways to score. In other words, you're not overly dependent on home runs. But at some point, do you think you're as a team, you will hit more home runs? And does that figure into your thinking in terms of wanting to give more of a run to Nolan Gorman, who clearly has that power potential?
Yeah, like when you look at where the homers will come from, I think you're looking at Nolan Gorman. You're looking at Nato clicking it in and being able to drive the ball. Contreras as well, and then you'll get your homers here and there from your Newbars and Donnies and Burlesons, But we have to stay true to what has given us success, and that's taking really good at bats. Um, and sometimes when you just keep it simple and you're not looking to do damage, that's when you actually do damage. So we're going to continue to harp on that. You have to play to your personnel. That's one of the things. I think we're doing better this year than any year. Is here's the group we have. Here's what they do well. Let's continue. So we'll continue to harp on that. But yeah, I do think as we get into the summer months, ball starts to fly a little bit. You'll see some of these guys kind of turn up the slug numbers, but we can't just sell out for it.
Oli, do you feel like you've reached a pretty good balance this season in terms of, and I know sometimes the lineup is dictated for you. It's not, you've got some guys who are going to be playing every day, and that's just the matter of fact. But do you feel like you've done a pretty good job of being able to balance getting enough playing time for some of the younger players while also making sure that you do have the best lineup out there to win every day?
An okay job. If I'm being completely honest, I'd probably want to find more time for Gorman. But our schedule also didn't allow for that. When you look at May, you had every Thursday off, which allows you to run your A lineup out there almost every day, knowing that they're going to play 6 days, have a day off, and feel refreshed, and play 6 days, have a day off. When you go down this next stretch in June, this is where it creates more opportunity for that. So that's where it's frustrating, man, because he was starting to do some things in Walker where we felt good about it. So it stinks that he has the wrist injury. I don't think it'll be a long IL stint, and it'll be nice to have him back. But this is where Gorman during this next stretch will have a little bit more opportunity. So I think we've done an okay job of balancing growth and winning, and we knew it'd be a tightrope all the way through. But I do think we've done a decent job of that.
When you take a look at tonight's starter, Andre Palante, what do you see there? In particular, some of his pitches that maybe aren't doing or locating where he wants them to be.
Yeah, and it's not just one blanket statement of like, if he does this, then we're good. There's certain days where he just doesn't have a real good feel for his spin, or he just didn't get ahead of guys, or when he did get ahead of guys, like that's where his slider's not there. So it's been a little bit of a mix and match there. But at the end of the day, if Palante gets ahead of hitters, there's very defensive swings. It's a tough at bat, and it's a lot of weak contact on the ground. So we have to continue to harp on that. He understands it. He knows what he has to do, but continuing to give him the opportunity is the key to this.
I wanted to ask you about this, but believe me, I'm not trying to play the role of manager here, Oli. I'd be
No, please
bad.
do. That's
pretty awful at it.
That's what makes this fun.
But we're all four of us are big fans of Ivan Herrera, and even though he's cooled down a little bit lately, that happens. Yeah. It's a cycle.
Sure.
Now, I kind of laugh at my own question because as someone who was really advocating the idea, you got to use him at DH. You got to use him at DH. I wonder, with all due respect to Pages, who's obviously got attributes defensively, but his offense has really been kind of going down. So would that influence your thinking about maybe using Herrera a little more at catcher than you have? And I'm not saying you've done anything wrong, but just an idea that maybe you're kicking around.
Great topic to discuss. Yes and no. Part of the key to a game is keeping the opposition from scoring too. And Pages does a phenomenal job of that. Like his ability to navigate a lineup, prepare for it, understand the opposition, understand the guy on the mound, what he can go to, what he can't, not stay on script when it's becoming predictable. Like there's certain things that he does, man, that go under, like they're just go under the radar. Like you don't notice them as a casual fan. It's difficult to notice some of these things. And what I will say is, like, he does a really nice job of giving our pitchers the best chance to have success. Where, like Herrera, he's behind the plate today. He'll catch Palante. But it is really nice to have someone like Pages behind the plate. We should be able to score enough runs and not count on the catching position having to thump and be defensively minded back there. Good teams have defensively minded catchers. I believe that. This is the person that touches the ball every single pitch. So we should be able to have a defense-first catcher and count on the rest of that lineup doing what they need to do. Ideally, I'm okay with that. But does that mean Herrera won't catch? No, he's catching today, and we're going to mix and match, and he'll get opportunities to be back there. But I'm not concerned with Pages' offense at the moment.
Thanks.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with much more with Oliver Marmol. This conversation with Oli is brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Great to have the Cardinals manager with us. It's the Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Back after this. Tom Ackerman here, joining Busey Bank in recognizing Ron Doherty for building community. President and CEO Ron Doherty has been strengthening our communities for 40 years. After merging Doherty Business Solutions with CGI, he launched Doherty Enterprises and Foundation, which supports the Alzheimer's Association, other worthy causes, and innovative solutions with millions of dollars annually. Follow Doherty Enterprises on LinkedIn to learn more.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. The Doherty Foundation supports the Alzheimer's Association and other causes financially. while Doherty Enterprises uses AI and advanced technology to provide support and relief to patients and caregivers dealing with Alzheimer's and other dementia diseases. Follow their lead. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Add some star-spangled style to your summer with Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. Going on now. Shop Hot Buys for every room in your home. Now just $6.99. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 store-wide. And don't miss upgrading your patio. Save up to 20% on select outdoor furniture. Or feel the freedom to buy now and pay over time with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The Gashouse Gang is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com with Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman, and our conversation with Oli Marmol is brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Big show tomorrow with Mitch Harris and John Mozeliak to follow him on the Gashouse Gang. And then Thursday, Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer, on the Gashouse Gang. Boy, I'll tell you, this is Celebrity Week on the Gashouse Gang. Mitch Harris. Now, you managed Mitch Harris when he came back, I remember this, from military service, and you were his manager in State College. Yeah. Isn't that right? And right around the same age. You were like a 26-year-old. I don't think people realize that you've been managing for that long, 13 years managing clubs.
Yeah, I think that year I was 20. He was older than me.
Yeah.
I was 24, 25, and he was older than me. That was the first player I had that was older than me. It happened a couple times, but he actually, during that break, he just called me. And he said he's coming into town. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, man. He's such a good dude. I enjoyed my time with him while we were down in rookie ball, and he's him and his family are good people, man.
Anchors away, baby. I should have got it. I should have. I'm not on tomorrow's show, but I would wear my Navy hat if I was. So anyway. Hey, Oli, I wanted to get back to something about your offense, and it's interesting because, and I know you take my questions the right way. The offense overall has been really good, yeah. But you've entered this stretch where you sort of have hit or miss games. I think like 7 of your last 14 games, you've scored 2 runs or less. And here's the question, or the point of that question. When you have games like that, and I know you got to tip your cap to the other pitcher at times, but when you have games like that, and I know you and the coaches want these guys to do better because you believe they can do better, but are there some identifiable traits that happen in these low-scoring outputs that you think you can improve, or that the players are aware of what they need to do better?
No doubt about it. This is the area that we have to double down on. Just because we've gone on a little bit of a run of games where we're winning, when you're in this seat, or the coaching staff, like it does mean something. So I don't want to downplay it, but in order to the area, there are certain things that, when you look at our chase rate, when we look at what we do from a damage standpoint, when we're ahead in the count, there's certain things that you can point at, and man, there's some low hanging fruit there. There's some opportunity there. So we have a young group that is excelling in certain areas, but as June comes and they start to flip the script on some of these young guys, they're going to have to make adjustments. So we want to stay ahead of that and make sure that what we're doing is sustainable. So this is where Brownie, man, I give him a lot of credit. He's done such a phenomenal job of just not being satisfied. And you have to give guys credit, meaning the players. Like, man, continue to speak life until you're doing a great job. But let's make sure that we are staying hungry and we're all headed in the right direction as to what we're really trying to accomplish. Because I said it early in the show, but like, this is the very beginning of something that could be fun. Um, and we're just now scratching the surface as to what's possible with some of these guys. So continuing to show them the trends and where they're headed and where we can improve is going to be as important as anything. So um, individual meetings with these guys this homestand will take place as far as here's where you're at, here's where you're headed, but there's room for improvement when it comes to our offense. They've done a nice job, but we got to continue to keep our head down and continue to work.
On the pitching side, Ollie, there's a viewer watching us on YouTube, Zachary, who has a question that's along the lines of something that I have talked about before. And he says low strikeout percentage, low walk percentage, along with great team defense has allowed starters to go longer and helping out the pen. Is that a conscious effort, or is it just a positive byproduct of the profile of your club? And the question I have is sort of on top of that when you talk about offense, you say put the ball in play, anything can happen. Well, the converse of that is also true. When the ball's in play, bad things can happen to your defense or to your pitching staff. So is there any concern there that the strikeout percentage is low, or do you feel like, hey, my defense is good, we'll be all right?
No, like ball and play, definitely. If you just probability, you would like swing and miss, right? But you have to play to the team that you have, right? We don't have a ton of swing and miss. We're at the bottom of the league when it comes to overall strikeouts as a staff, starting rotation and bullpen. So if you play bad defense, you're really in trouble. So this is why we double down. We have to take care of the baseball. And in spring training, there was a ton of conversations around it, and the guys are taking ownership and pride over we want to be the best defensive club in Major League Baseball. So if you're going to pitch the contact, you got to take care of the ball, which we've done, but limiting the walks, getting ahead of guys, that is intentional. Like we can't afford to give away free passes and walk people. But our guys, even the guys that don't have a ton of swing miss, have done a really nice job of expanding the zone and getting soft contact. But yeah, would you like more swing and miss? Absolutely. But you have to play to what you have. And I think we've done a really nice job with that.
You know, Ali, as we were singing the praises of Kyle Leahy, you got to also say that he has struggled a little bit here in his last few outings. So what are you seeing in Kyle that has taken a bit of a downturn?
Gosh, I don't know how much in the weeds I want to go in here. When you look at Kyle has a wide array of pitches that he can go to, and he feels comfortable going to any of them in any count. So it induces a lot of soft contact, a lot of defensive swings, but it is a lot of ball and play. When you look at his BABIP over the month that we felt really good about him, it was under 150, which is abnormal. That's closer to the 290 range for league average. So at some point that tends to even out to some degree. But at the same time, this is a guy that has a high ceiling, and I don't think we're close to it yet. He is so hungry and understanding what's next for him. I mean, even I sit there in my seat, in the plane, I can see kind of directly to where he's at, man. And he calls over Dusty, and for an hour and a half, they sit there and just go over his game and what he can do better. Like, this guy is constantly looking for what's next in a very positive way, not in a tinkering way or in a searching way. He just understands, like, I have an opportunity, and I'm not going to go a day without figuring out like how to reach my ceiling. So that's why you're patient with guys like this. Like he's going to do a nice job. The ball and plays there, sure, but I think because of what he has, there's certainty for swing and miss. This guy does, and it's continuing to understand how to use his stuff best. So I'm very optimistic about what Kyle could do. Yeah.
Hey, Ali, I wanted to go back to why your starting pitchers have done well, given the low strikeout rate. And obviously the defense is a huge component of that. But you know me with the numbers, and in fact, I drive myself insane looking up numbers all the time. But there's a metric called location plus, and it's basically, I don't have to explain it to you before our listeners or viewers. You know, does a pitcher hit the spot that he wants to hit when he throws a pitch? There's only one team in Major League Baseball who have starting pitchers who locate better than the St. Louis Cardinals, and they're tied with second with several other teams. how do you teach location? I mean, how do you sharpen a staff to where they know they're not going to get a lot of swing and miss, most of those guys, but they're going to hit their spots. It's like they're doing the Jeff Suppan thing, which is a compliment, by the way, right?
Yeah.
But how do you explain their ability to locate so well?
This has been a real topic of conversation dating back to the off season, knowing this is who we have, this is what we need to be able to do really well if we're going to have success. And Dusty, man, I mean, he'll talk about this until you're tired of hearing it. But our staff has taken a lot of pride in being able to do that. Like, if you're not going to have swing and miss, then you have to induce soft contact. And the simplest way I can put it is miss on the side that you're trying to miss. They've been really stubborn about, I need to be able to throw it here. And if I miss, how do I want to miss? And it's given them success. It really has. Like, when you look at some of the guys that don't have the plus velo and the overpowering stuff, man, then you have to be really stubborn about missing my way. And they've done that. So we need to continue that, because that's what's going to allow us to have success, is being able to induce soft contact and allowing our defense to do what they've done all year. But that's actually one of the most talked about things. So to your point, that is important, and our guys have to continue to find that important.
We talked about the importance of this homestand coming up and how good the competition is going to be. One of the great players in baseball right now will be here over the weekend. I know first things first, you've got Kansas City, but Shohei Ohtani is going to be here starting on Friday. When you face somebody like that, who is a superstar already, does it on your end as an opponent, is it the kind of thing you think about, or are you too wrapped up in trying to win? I mean, what is your thought process when you're facing a guy like him?
You advance him like you would advance anybody. Obviously, an extremely good player, has less holes than most, but you're trying to figure out how to beat him, and you're so head down and trying to figure out how to beat him that you don't really take the time to take a step back and just admire the player for who he is. Pitching stat, it doesn't matter. You're head down and just trying to figure out where those holes are and how do we execute against him. And then you evaluate at the end of the series and make any adjustments that you need to make in order to kind of do the same or not when you go face them at their place.
The Dodgers are just loaded. Freeman hitting .368 on the season. Smith hitting .331. But look who's number 3 in the National League. Brendan Donovan with a .323 batting average. Oli, All-Star voting starts tomorrow for the fans. I know that you'd probably be happy to endorse some players as you move along here this first half of the season, and Donnie would probably be at the top of your list.
One of the best traits is being called consistent. And this guy's incredible at that, man. Like, he's just, from the second he walks into the clubhouse, there's a purpose behind everything that he does. From prepping his body in the training room to the weight room to, I told a story the other day, like, it's raining outside. He has a ground ball routine he likes to do. He's in the hallway doing it. And it's just like he sticks to what's given him success, but he's not scared to make adjustments. And there's times where that's important. So his ability to just be coachable, you can have a tough conversation with him. And what I like about it is, before you can even call him out on something, he usually calls himself out, right? Like, there's certain times that there was a time where he did something on the field, and I won't go back to it, but he knew it wasn't up to the standard. And before I can walk up to him, he taps me on the shoulder and he says, "Hey," and those are the leadership traits that you're looking for, is when you can get on the guy that's doing really well on your team. You can get on anybody, and he usually does that to himself before you can. So I love him as a player, man. I love him as a person. He cares about the people around him. He wants to make others better, and he's having a phenomenal year, man. So to his credit, because he's put in a ton of work during the offseason, defensively, offensively, and it's good to see it pay off.
I know you've got a meeting coming up. I don't want to keep you too much longer. Bernie, you want to throw another question the manager's way before we go?
Well, hold on. The meeting The meeting doesn't start until the manager gets there. What are you talking about?
He's in a meeting right now.
He's running the meeting.
No, can I ask a heavy question? because I'm a heavyweight, literally, actually a super
Go
heavyweight.
for it.
But the no, this is something I've been giving some thought to, and I know some fans, and I'm actually motivated by some fan comments to ask you this question. Listen, you managed in the minor leagues. You've been in baseball for a long time, but when you're a first time manager at the big league level, you're still on some kind of learning curve. I mean, I don't know how to define it.
Yeah.
You make discoveries as you go along. Here's the question. Whatever the things you thought maybe you could have done better earlier in your career as a manager, or say, hey, next time around, I'm going to be on top of this, or I've learned, I'm going to take this lesson away from failure, or whatever you want to call it. How much do you think you have grown from, your first year as a manager to where you are now? And how do you use some of the things, I keep using the word failure, but how do you use maybe some of the things that have failed along the way? How have you used that to make yourself a better manager, which is part of the whole education or process?
Gosh, it's a good question.
I told you it was heavy.
How vulnerable do I want to be here? Couple things come to mind. You learn how to communicate better. In the minor leagues, part of the job is weeding people out. And man, I was pretty hard on guys to figure out who can and who can't, because the last thing you want to do is say somebody's ready for the next level or the big leagues and then not be. So you try to weed people out in the way you communicate and see if they're tough enough to handle the pressures and anxieties that come with playing at the big league level. I've learned to communicate better over the last several years, and that's helped in getting the most out of the player. I would say I was okay at it, and that's an area that I continue to pay attention to. And then the second thing that comes to mind is just not. Sometimes early on, as a young manager, you worry about what others may think. I've learned to just, man, go with what my gut's saying and not just covering your ass in order to answer a question post game, and that's important. If you jack it up, you jack it up. I just have a reason for why you're doing something. But at times when you're young, you want to do things based on easiest way to answer a question, and you make a move just to cover your ass. And I feel like you become more comfortable with not having to do that or not caring what the three of you may think. And I mean that with all your respect, but at the end of the day, like you have to be able to sleep at night and make the move that you feel gives your club the best chance. And sometimes it may work and sometimes it may not, but not having the criticism of the outside be a filter for decision making is probably one of the things that's top of list when answering that question.
I know someone who taught you that. He's going to be our guest on Thursday. Tony LaRussa.
You ain't kidding.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
By the way, I'm sure Oli talks to Tony LaRussa, but I was talking to Tony LaRussa yesterday about a number of things. Oli, I still have this reaction whenever I look at my phone and I see LaRussa. It takes me back to the days where I would get a call from him and he'd be like, damn, you're smarter than this. What are you writing this crap for? So every time I see LaRussa on the phone, I'm like, what did I do now? I didn't do anything, And we would always have really great conversations. But anyway, he unsolicited. He said, that Oli's doing a hell of a job. I hope everyone's behind him. That guy's doing a hell of a job. So I just wanted to pass that along.
No, I appreciate you, man. He's been able to share some things with me that have had a lot of impact in how I've operated over the last year. And it's good to hear it from somebody that's been through it. And you've mentioned it, man. Like when he first got here, it was very different than when he left here. And he's been able to speak to the challenges of his first 4 or 5 years, and then how it feels to walk into the stadium today compared to what it felt like when he first got here, and some of the challenges that brings, and how he dealt with some of the pressures and criticism. But hearing it from someone that's actually gone through it in the city that I'm in today, because this is different, man. The city's different. Baseball is woven into every inch of this city, right? So it's a different city to manage, but to hear some of the struggles from someone that's been through it, and for him to pass that down to me and be able to encourage me during the 23 season, the 24 season, is meaningful. It's impactful, and you need that. You need people like that to be able to kind of help you carry through. So I'm grateful for him and him giving me the time. But yeah, no, that's meaningful to hear that. Thank you.
Appreciate you being with us and joining us on these Tuesdays. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and good luck tonight against the Royals.
I appreciate you guys, man.
Good to be with Oli Marmol, Cardinals manager, with us on the Gashouse Gang. With Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji, I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producer is Matt Pajeski. We'll be right back on KMOX.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket wait list at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Mostly cloudy and 84 degrees in St. Louis. The weather brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call even though it's late, JerryKelly.com.
Summer's coolest mattress deals are going on now at Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. This summer, save up to $1,000 on select mattresses. And say goodbye to hot sleep and save up to $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze collection. Plus, feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Better sleep starts at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
At California Psychics, we know some people can't read the career warning signs, like your boss still not knowing your name.
You, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am? Just get it done, Terry.
So talk to California Psychics and receive the career guidance you need. We only connect you with the very best, so guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com today for limited time offer.
Homeowners, spring is here and there's no better time to sell your St. Louis home. But the agent you choose matters. So who should you call? Trusted Realtor Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. This is Debbie Monterey, and here's why Gloria should be your first call. While the average realtor puts a sign in your yard and hopes your home sells, Gloria will guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. In this market, you don't want to risk working with someone who doesn't have the guarantees, the buyers, or the experience to help you sell within your time frame and for the most money. Many realtors will overprice your home just to get your business, which can lead to your home sitting on the market with little or no offers and then price reductions. If you want to sell your home for 100% of market value or have Gloria pay you the difference, call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Tonight, the Cards, the Royals.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back with Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. We are sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. We are the Gashouse Gang. Bernie, we had some newsy stuff, I thought, in that segment with Oli. One is they're going to be talking about a six-man rotation and what that might look like. Two, Ivan Herrera is going to start at catcher tonight. How about that for Andre Palante?
Yeah, I thought Oli actually told us, because it's not really quote official. I think he pretty much told us that McGreevy is going to enter the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And and you know what? It's an obviously smart decision, because number one, Matz has been so valuable in the bullpen. If you take him out of the bullpen, it weakens your bullpen, and your bullpen has got to be strong. And he's one of the reasons why it has been strong. The second reason is that every time McGreevy has been given an opportunity to pitch in the majors, he looks really, really good. You talk about a guy who's paid his dues. So this is his time. I mean, he's ready to help this team. So why not take advantage of it? You're rewarding a young pitcher who deserves to be rewarded, but you're also keeping the strength of your bullpen intact. It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and we know that they're going to have to manage innings. That's going to be one of his biggest jobs for the rest of the season, is trying to manage workload for guys like Liberatore. Because if you want to keep him fresh throughout the year and as good as he's been, effective as he's been, one of the things they'll have to do is limit innings and make sure they don't overextend him. I know some people aren't as worried about that workload, but I think it's a thing they absolutely have to keep an eye on.
Well, I know what you're saying, but what they've done, what Dusty Blake and Oli Marmol have done, they've kind of gotten away with some stuff, and I mean that in a good way, because the Cardinals' the average innings per start is in the top 5 in the major league. So compared to other teams, they're getting a lot of good innings out of their starters. But take a look at how many pitches per start. The Cardinals, the amount of pitches they throw on average is one of the lower figures in the major league. So they're giving you the kind of innings that you need, but they're not throwing a ton of pitches to do it. So I kind of looked at that when I was fishing around one day, and I said, oh, okay, that's how they're managing to do this, right? Because I think a lot of it has to do with the number of pitches you throw in a start and the difficulty of those pitches. That was Dave Duncan's thing. He says, you guys in the media always talk about pitch counts. He said, a guy can throw 80 pitches and they'll be high leverage pitches, and there's a lot of strain, a lot of pressure. He said that'll take more out of him than if he throws 110 pitches and it's kind of an easy ride. And if you think about it, that makes perfect sense.
We'll learn so much from Dave Duncan. Man, oh, man. We will answer some of your comments and questions, but I got to tell you, so far the comments have been kind of like everybody chirping at each other. I don't know what's going on with you guys today.
It's that one guy, Jay.
No, they're all chirping each other.
Look, we got one troll that we really need to just not. No, because it's just, here's an opportunity for people to talk Cardinals baseball and to directly talk to the manager.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you have one troll disrupting everything. And it's frustrating. And, I know what I would do, but I'm not in charge. So
well,
anyway.
we will drop the hammer on him. We'll just kick him out.
It's
Bernie,
just so stupid.
Bernie, let's tell the folks about Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Absolutely. I'm really proud to speak on behalf of Saliga Heating and Cooling. This is a proud family business. It's been taking care of St. Louis families since 1927. So it's 4 generations of Saligas. My guy, Dan Saliga, is the 4th owner, operator of the family business. They're even still in the same building that when they opened up their business down on Gravois in South City in 1927. I love that. But anyway, in our experience as a Saliga client, this Daikin Comfort dealer has been outstanding in every way. The thing I always want to stress to people is their honesty and integrity, their professionalism, their knowledge. When they come into your home, they're classy. They never try to push anything on you. They never try to hard sell you or upsell you. In our experience, in the experience of the people in our neighborhood, uh, Saliga is the exact opposite. They come to your home, and instead of trying to talk you into some big expensive thing you have to do to fix a problem, they go the other way. So, well, no, you don't need to buy that. You don't need a boiler. You're good to go for another 3 years or so. Uh, and they'll propose a cheaper solution that does the job. And that's why final thing on this with Saliga Heating and Cooling, I recommend their Priority Club maintenance program because it saves you money, extends the life of your equipment. You also have the peace and the comfort of knowing everything is working, no matter what season of the year it is. So if you want to find out more about Saliga Heating and Cooling, you go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. You'll see the phone number there, but I'll give it to you now, 314-481-7333. Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education. But that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and by Anderson Hospital on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producer is Matt Pajeski. Great visit with Oli Marmol earlier in the show. You can always go back and watch. We get a lot of replay views on this show. The Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Bernie, this Cardinals team is 7 games over 500. They are 4 games out in the Central. The Cubs are the real deal. I mean, they are chugging along here and leading this division, but here come the Milwaukee Brewers. My goodness.
Ooh, yeah.
8 in a row for the Crew. What do you think about the Central right now?
Well, it's getting better for sure. And even the Reds, who have a losing record, but I think that's a dangerous team. I don't think they're going to, like past years, kind of beat themselves a lot, but they have been disappointing so far. But Milwaukee's getting their starting pitchers back, so all of a sudden their rotation's fortified. And, they've kind of rearranged their bullpen a little bit, and they're doing a good job. I mean, they don't hit a tremendous amount of home runs, but they manage to score runs, and they steal a lot of bases. So do the Cubs. That's one edge they have over the Cardinals. So I look at it as, Milwaukee really being a threat to the Cardinals, standing as the team that's been primarily chasing the Cubs in that division. I think Milwaukee's trying to move up into that second spot. That 4-game series coming up in Milwaukee is going to be really, really important. So, hey, can I throw in a fun thing? No,
please.
No, we love fun.
The Cardinals right now, if you look at the records, let's just imagine like the overall National League standings, right? The Cardinals are 2.5 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have a payroll that is $200 million more than the Cardinals. And they're within 2.5 games of that team. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to stay there. But if you think about that, I mean, the Cardinals have a better record than 6 teams that have spent $200 or million more on payroll. The Cardinals have spent 140.
Cardinals remind me of last year's Tigers team that nobody thought was going to do anything, and then they kind of came together and became buyers at the deadline. How about this, Chris? This Royals offense, how bad is it? First 60 games this year, averaging 3.23 runs per game. That's their fewest through their first 60 ever.
That's not great. Well, hey, Jack Cagliano's going to be here any minute now. So
we've got
that guy's. He's. I don't know what he'll turn into, but everybody is very excited about him, including Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So if Pat's excited, that means we have to be excited.
That's right. That's from. By the way, that stat was from my buddy Dan Hyatt. Want to make sure I credit him. But we have a radio crew in the studio next door. They came in town, Bernie, just because of the prospect coming up for the Royals.
Oh, from
really
KC.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
he's an exciting hitter. It's interesting. They're trying to play him in the outfield, and he's not an outfielder, so he might have some difficulty at first. What they need to do, my friend Joe Sheehan wrote a great piece on the Royals saying what they should do, but it's one of those things that's tough to do. Salvi Perez is pretty much done, and they need to cut him back on at bats, but they're probably not going to do that.
It's going to be an interesting series between the Cardinals and Royals. Always is. For Chris Ranji, Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pajeski, Oli Marmol, I'm Tom Ackerman. Tomorrow, Mitch Harris, John Mozeliak. Thursday, Tony La Russa. The Gashouse Gang. There's no show quite like it. It's right here. It's all for you. Cardinal baseball tonight, 5:50 pregame, 6:45. First pitch on KMOX.